Yo, what's going on, guys? K7 here, and in today's video, we're going to be going over Johnny. Got a nice little Johnny guide for you guys today. Before we get started, I want to say leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so to start, Guilty Gear actually classifies Johnny as a zoning character, which is a little bit weird because he's not really a zoner. He doesn't really have a projectile or anything, but I can see almost where they're coming from just because he has the Misfinder. And this is just a stance that you can go to, and it attacks at pretty long range, actually a lot further than many characters can contest with. I think you can this even hits a little bit further than Nago's 5H, but he's not really a zoning character. I would like to classify him a little bit as like a pressure / neutral footsie based character. Obviously he has the long range normals, right? He has a lot of long range buttons and stuff he can go for, and he also has the Misfinder, which we just showed here in a second. But also whenever he gets his hit or gets a strike, gets a throw, whatever, he has good pressure to complement that. It goes like pretty much anytime he gets a throw or a nice hit that he wants, he can pretty much find a mix up on his opponents or just apply pressure to crank up risk and get some good reward that way as well. Starting off, we have 6P. Every character in the game has this. It's just an upper body invo attack, so you can use it against people who are jumping in on you, or you can use it against attacks such as far slashes in this game, or some heavy slashes as well when your opponent is using those in neutral, and it will beat it out just fine. So 6K, this attack is an attack with 4 momentum, so it helps Johnny move in neutral without having to dash, and you can just use that and also special cancel from it. You can use the Insenga special move that we'll soon speak about, and it's pretty much just a good way to approach from mid-range. 6H, which is his forward and heavy slash button, is a really long range forward advancing attack. It does not have it's not safe on block, so you have to cancel it into Misfinder, so make sure you're doing that. But it's really good range, really good damage, and it's really good in combos as well. So first things first, we're going to talk about pretty much his bread and butter special move. You're going to be using this a lot, so you're going to have to get used to it. It's his Misfinder stance. So by doing quarter circle forward, quarter circle back, punch, pick, or slash, you'll go into the stance, and each version of the stance will give you a different version of the slice when you let go of the button. So the kick version is a horizontal slice. This is pretty much used for your neutral. You can use it after throwing out deal. Is used in your combo, so if you like, slash, Misfinder, like I showed you there. That's pretty much what the horizontal version is used for, and you can do all of these versions in the air as well, so keep that in mind. Next version we have is the punch version, which is going to be your anti-air version of this / your combo, basically combo stuff. So if you do like close slash launcher, you want to use the punch version of the Misfinder stance to keep them in the air. So right there, we did it, got them in the air, and then we can use the horizontal version to end the combo. But yeah, this is your launcher / anti-air, and it's very disjointed. Like, you will never get hit by using this anti-air by any jump in. Like, look at that. Come on, Kai cannot. What is Kai supposed to do about this? Like, he cannot. There's nothing to be done. That nearly hit him almost full screen, and he just jumped. He didn't even really like do anything. He did jump heavy slash. He didn't even dash in or anything. It still hit. This button is insane as an anti-air combined with his 6P. His 5P, he has amazing anti-airs for this character, so your opponents will definitely not want to jump on you too much. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the slash version, which is the low version. This actually is a true low. It hits low, so if your opponent is stand blocking and you do this, you'll get the knockdown. It gives the same knockdown as, well, yeah, it gives the same knockdown as if like you did a sweep. So if you did 2K2D, that knockdown is pretty much the same thing as the slash version of Misfinder. And this is pretty good in neutral because you can hold the stance, and they don't know which version you're holding. There's no visual tell. So you can just hold the stance, and your opponent won't know whether you're doing the anti-air, horizontal, or the low version. But you can kind of stay out of their range of lows, and where people will be pretty much stand blocking or walking back and forth in neutral, and you could dash forward and do it and get your knockdown. Think of it like a long range sweep, and it sets up deal. It also works well in block strings. Like if I just want to do far slash low Misfinder or slash Misfinder, it gives me a nice knockdown, and I can dash up and start some pressure that way. And another thing to note about the Misfinder stance is that you can cancel it. All versions can be canceled by pressing dust or by pressing heavy slash. And this is important for when it comes to block string pressure, and we'll get into that in a bit. The next special move we're going to talk about is deal. So if you do quarter circle forward kick, punch, or slash, he'll throw a card, and this card can be cut by Misfinder. When this card is cut, it applies an additional hit which will launch on hit and it will guard crush on block. And this makes it to where using this move in conjunction with you know, your Mistfinder stance, it makes it really good with your pressure. So I do something like that, get a guard crush, and I get a free dash up, and I'm plus. Just keep in mind though that if you do press a little late, you might be able to get thrown, like if you don't dash up quick enough or something like that. So just keep that in mind. But the punch version, it leaves the card closest to you, and if you immediately throw the punch version and you do the punch Mistfinder, you'll actually cut the card. This won't hit if the opponent is crouching, so keep that in mind. But if you delay it a little bit, you can just wait for the card to fall and do the horizontal version. But if you wait, you know, too long, it'll hit the ground, and it can only be cut by the low version of Mistfinder, or it could be cut by the air version. Like if you do it low like this, you can still cut it. The kick version throws the card the furthest away from your opponent, or the furthest away from you, I should say. It goes the furthest out of all the versions. As you can see, the kick version lands all the way by Kai's feet, and I'm about 2 dashes away. And this can be cut with the slash version as well when it hits the ground, or if you throw it and you immediately do the horizontal version of Mistfinder and you dash, you can also cut it right away, and it's really good for using it in neutral. And the slash version, it throws it pretty high up in the air. This is pretty good for going for you know, reads on your opponents that like to just wake up and hold up, or wake up and jump and stuff like that. If I throw my opponent and I want to set this up and I think he's gonna jump, I could do like a block string or try to do a block string and delay it and catch the jump or something, or I can just throw it on a neutral and do it to catch the jump. It works pretty well like that. Even though I think the best version to use pretty much all the time is just the kick version, but the punch version can be used as well. But I don't use the punch version as much because when you do a block string, it pushes them out of the range of it. So the kick version is my go-to because you can always just cut the block string short if you see you're about to go past it, and just cut the card anyway. Other moves that I'm going to talk about really quickly is vault. So if you do 236H, you'll jump at your opponent, and you know, if you don't press anything, you just get an empty jump pretty much. This goes over some projectiles, and it goes over lows. So if I make Kai throw this, I can jump over the projectile, and I can even punish it if I time it right, and I get my my combo that I showed you guys earlier. Or if I wanted to, I could just throw deal, like I could just use it in neutral pretty much to try to get you know, force my way in on opponents that want to do think of like Kai using Stun Dipper, or Potemkin doing Slide Head, or you know, stuff like that. It goes over pretty much these low options that people want to go for. And it does leave a card down, so if you manage to, you know, get your opponent blocking and you throw it down in the corner, you can PRC after it and get them blocking and get a guard crush. He's already at half risk, and I didn't really do much, so this character is really good at stacking risk. If you do vault in the air, or the vault input in the air, you'll actually throw a card down instead of doing a forward jump. So that will this is good in neutral, or like opponents that are trying to anti-air you while you're up in the air above them. If they're trying to time it in 6P, you could just throw a card down. It works pretty well. The next move we're gonna talk about is Insenga. This also low crushes. It's -4 on block. The only way you could punish this is if you were to instant block it, which is not likely. And this move pretty much you can always go for if you're up close and you want to just, you know, end your block string is something safe, because Mistfinder is not safe typically, so keep that in mind. You can do dash back Mistfinder to keep yourself safe, but sometimes it whiffs, so you don't want to really chance it. And if they just randomly press jump in, you also can get hit too. So the better version, or the better way to end your block strings, will probably be this for the most part, if you think your opponent is just gonna, you know, mash out a low or something like that. Next, we're going to talk about his supers. So not really much to talk about here except for this super right here. I forget the name of it. Joker's Trick, okay, or Joker Trick. So this is his non-invincible super. It can be used full screen, and it goes through projectiles. So if I make Kyle Keys here, or his projectile, it'll delete the projectile, and I'll get the hit, and I can get my super off. It's pretty good against people who want to throw out projectiles, or people who are not really paying attention and just want to throw stuff in neutral, not blocking. Works out pretty well. Next super is the traditional super that pretty much everybody has, is his invincible super. It is invincible on wake up, so if I set Kai to throw me, right, and I'm gonna set him to try to meet me. As Johnny does not have a wake up reversal in his kit, he doesn't have a DP of any sort, so this super is pretty much your invincible wake up. He doesn't have a DP innately, so this will be the one you use rather than the other super. Now let's talk a little bit about game plan and strategy. So Slash Mistfinder is probably your most powerful mix-up tool, since it's traditionally a low on the ground. You can just use it to mix up your opponent off a close slash to go for close slash into slash Mishfinder, which is a low, or you could do 5D, obviously for the overhead. But it becomes even more powerful when you have deal out. So if you're able to do close slash into slash Mishfinder for the low, it's very plus on block. And it has a mix-up if you're able to Tiger Knee slash Mishfinder in the air. So the slash Mishfinder in the air, if you're able to Tiger Knee it, you'll actually get a nice little overhead. And with deal out, you get a combo off of it as well. And it's really plus on block still. So really you have a safe high-low mix-up. You can't fuzzy it, so it's safe high-low, unfuzzyable, and on block you get pressure after it if they were to guess right. So Johnny in the corner is one of the strongest characters. Like, it's one of the hardest characters to block and one of the strongest characters because not many characters can enforce their offense like this and keep their pressure going after you guess right. The only character I think that could do anything near this is probably Happy Chaos. With Meteor, the best way to engage on your opponent when you have them near the corner and you want to enforce your mix up on them is pretty much just vault into PRC. And the way you know if you did the vault PRC right is if you see the like when the card lands on the ground, you should see the trail behind the card. So if the trail is still out, that means you did it properly pretty much. After the card throw PRC, you go for close slash into Tiger Knee Mishfinder or close slash into slash Mishfinder. So both are the slash version, but the Tiger Knee one, you have to make sure you press the slash version pretty much forward. So you have to do quarter circle back and then up forward slash, and then you'll get the Tiger Knee slash version of Mishfinder that you want. And you'll be able to get your combo like that as well. Pressure on block, combo on hit. Johnny's Oki is pretty straightforward. After you get a knockdown, you throw a card and you mix. Any knockdown that you get that can lead into slash Mishfinder, which is the low Mishfinder, or if you do 2K2D, anything that allows you to throw out card or to throw out deal, excuse me, anything that allows you to throw out deal, it gives you your high-low setups, it gives you your block string setups, and it gives you pretty much all the pressure that you could ask for without your opponent really being able to have an answer for it. Now, the few answers that they do have are a little bit not character specific because some characters do have, it is character specific, but some characters can just press 6P out of certain things. If they IB certain normals, then they can throw you out of it. Like if they IB your close slash, then they can throw you out of the 2H. Things like that. So it's something to keep in mind. But for the most part, his offense is pretty much get your knockdown, throw a card, and you mix.